this is great. So we got Wink flying in the air there, and he's circling. And Big Red is there on the scaffolding there on the west side. And Wink came from somewhere. He flew over her. Then he headed down toward the Willard Strait, and now he's up here. And Mom is up on the scaffolding. And she may decide to take off. We'll see what happens. I'm trying to find where Wink went. I don't know where he went. Where'd he go? All right, well, I'm going to show you Mom. Was he? All right, there's Mom. So I guess this is where she came when she left us at whatchamacallit, at ETT2, and then she went, so from there she went over into the top of the bowl area. And then she went down, floated down into the bowl and popped over going west. Yeah, I don't either, Cindy. He'll reappear.
Is that an eagle up there?
It's a red-tailed hawk. Her name's Big Red.
Where is she? Wait a minute.
See up on the scaffolding there? You can see her here.
Oh my gosh, beautiful. Look at the colors.
Yeah, she's backlit, but she's still pretty. She's got a nest. She's a resident red-tailed hawk. Her and her mate here on campus. They've been they've had a nest here since on the camp since 2012, since 2010 on Man Library. So they're up campus. I don't know if you're familiar with campus at all.
No.
So if you head that direction, there's a big tower there, and there's some athletic fields. And on one of the light towers there, they have their nest. And the Lababo has got 24/7 webcam on there, so you can watch them lay their eggs, hatch their chicks. And
Oh my God.
All year round they're here?
Yep.
They don't leave in the winter?
No, that's their territory. They don't go to Florida or anything like
No,
that.
they're diehards, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, gorgeous.
And her mate just was up there with her a moment ago, and he just flew around and just took his son. He disappeared on us. He went somewhere. So
How old do you think they are? Like
she's
what?
in her 20s.
20. And what's their life expectancy for the
Well, they can get into their 20s if they're well cared for. She's got a good mate.
Yeah.
He's a young guy. He's like 7 or 8 years old. Her first mate, Ezra, died 7 or 8 years ago. And then she took up with a young guy who wasn't even an adult yet.
She's a cougar.
Kind of. Yeah, he came in and cleared out the area and cleared off all comers and stuff like that. They hung out for a year and got to know each other, and then they had kids the next year. And so he looks after her really well. She's got a pretty stress-free life.
Jeez.
And they've been hunting the slope the last week and a half because they've been gradually mowing all the tall grass. And so there's mice and vole and stuff like that. And they've been having a heyday with them. Kids were here on the slope yesterday. Students covered the slopes, and they were like coming down and hitting the ground and catching stuff in among the students and the whole
my
bit.
gosh, that's so cool.
Pretty interesting.
Very cool. Thank you for the story.
Yeah,
the
sure,
backdrop.
you're
We'd
welcome.
never have known. We're just walking by.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
You too. Take care. Enjoy. All right, so I wish I could get her a little less dark. There's a tube that just went behind her. Yeah, we are back again. And we have actual connectivity here down. For whatever reason, there was nothing happening up there at Tower Road by the Nest. I'm not sure what was going on. We have the same settings. We're doing cellular. There's the slope. The slope is is empty this morning. We have gorgeous sunlight, and Wink was up there with her when we got here before we started the stream, and he floated around over her, and he is gone somewhere. Not exactly sure where he's gone, but so hopefully we'll see her in a little bit more of a sunlit situation. Yeah. Yeah, there's some beautiful bright reds over there. West Hill has a couple of red ones also now. Yeah. So Sixta has gone that way around the bend. Not philosophically, but physically has gone around there to get on the sunny side of Big Red. Here's a beautiful, there's some red over there on the slope across over by IC, at IC. So I think I might actually go. I know that Big Red's gonna, yeah, it works great. Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. Because it's the same settings. I didn't restart anything after I restarted. It's perfect. I think that like the cell towers are too high up on Bradfield and you don't get any coverage down below. Yeah, she's coming back.
I didn't stop. I went around so I could see the scaffolding from the cell phone. And I didn't see him anywhere there. That doesn't mean he isn't there.
Yeah.
But from this angle, I couldn't see him.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to head over there and show her from the sunny side, even though it'll be her back side.
Oh, yeah, right.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Right there. Hi. Well, it won't be too much that we can actually show of her. At least we get a chance to come over here. Sixta came over here looking for, we got some beautiful bellflowers here. They're not, they're like black-eyed Susans, but they're not black-eyed. Oh, we can't really see her here. She took off. She might have. Well, I think so. She's going somewhere because she's not up there. All right, well. Where'd you go, dear? Okay, she might have come down here by Morrill Hall. Excuse me.
Cindy has her over on the ground there.
Okay.
I don't know if she caught something or what.
She might have.
You know, so
Yep, be careful,
I
careful.
dreamed it.
Yep. Oh, and she just took off. Here she goes.
she took off?
Yep, she headed down across the
Oh.
road and down the slope.
Yeah.
She's popping into that tree.
That woman just was not listening at all.
I see. Did she get something? Are you doing all right?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
You go ahead. I'll catch up.
Okay. We'll probably go down the slope, so you probably stay up here.
I'll at least take a rest
Okay.
before I would go down.
All right, and there's the stones there, the memorial. It's a great place to
Yeah.
have a sit down. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. All right, so I think she popped down into the bottom of this tree, the big tree. I think she popped down into the bottom of this big tree. Yep. She's coming along and she's gonna have a little bit of a sit down. All right. And I'm going to have a little bit of a fall down here if I'm not careful. All right. Let's have a look around. So I thought she like popped up underneath. I thought she popped up underneath into here. Because she went down pretty low along the contour of the hill. All right. Not seeing her in these trees. Hi. Hi. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really want to walk up underneath here, but I don't know. Give my hand a break here. Maybe. Yeah, I guess I'll go down that way and see if I see her down the hill further. I don't see her. I don't see her up there. Are you up there, Big Red? All right, Cindy found her up in the big tree. Okay. Well, whatever. I don't care. Just give me a view.
Yeah, it's over there. It's a look for it. On that horizontal branch, so two things way up. Here?
Yeah, I guess so. Is that her?
Yeah. I don't know where you're looking. If you're looking in the right spot. Okay, just put it on the stove. I'll find her on the stove for you. He's a hiding. Next.
I see her. Facing us.
Yeah.
There she is. Yep. There she is. See if I go this way a little bit. There's her face. Awesome. Good job. I gotta find her.
It was cute. Stop for, a minute visit.
Yep. Yes, she's back up in
We
there.
could have left it on Wi-Fi. We might have gotten better Wi-Fi service over there.
It was automatic Wi-Fi switching. Did not work.
Well, no, I meant the phone go to bedroom.
Understand?
But I thought you turned it off up there.
Well, obviously it was set for automatic Wi-Fi switching to go to Wi-Fi
Oh,
if it was available.
you get happy camper up there?
Totally.
The bottom part.
Because she's gonna go. She's gonna walk up the. And it's coming back. So she's over there by Willard Strait. There she goes. Yeah, I got her landing. All right, let's wander over there. She's over there in the lower peak. We'll straight the upper peak to the left of the library.
Does any?
Okay, we're walking up at the top again. And we're walking. Over there. Let's get her in the scope. The road straightened up a little bit. And here she comes. She float right over us. Hello, beautiful. She's over there on top of Morrill Hall. The chimney. here from the scope. So she'll stay put for a second. Oh, nice. We're going to have some concerts, some chimes. Awesome. I'm shooting up there. I'm shooting over you up that way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. You're fine.
Like in the spring semester,
Yeah.
they have a massive concert.
No, actually, it's fine. I'm used to having something there, so.
They sneak in like alcohol.
Hey, beautiful. All right, so I don't know where they went.
Oh, that. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
She's up on the chimney then, the south chimney area.
Like, not lots. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so if you get out, so I had lights that you see.
A lot of, well, I mean, he got him, he had himself a good one. Yeah, I mean, you had.
So, do we have folks on? All right. Okay. Okay. So we have. It's not popping up for me when you guys are chat. So, hi Ostrich, and hi Sherry. All right. So we were here earlier with Sixta when we had Ezra and BR here. Not Ezra, Wink. Sorry, Arthur. And it was mostly Big Red. And then we had we went up campus toward the nest and we saw them up on the ledges, and we tried to do a second stream there, but we were having like serious connectivity issues. So I think in that stream, if it actually survived, hopefully both streams from this morning survived, especially the first one. But anyway, on the second one, we had a glimpse of Big Red on the ledge, and then on ETT2, and then she took off. Ezra took off to Riley Rob before that, and then went somewhere, and she went down into the bowl. So we came back down this way, and we found both of them up on US Library, and we started the stream. Wink circling around, he took off, and now we've been sort of tracking BR for the last half hour or so. She went off of US Library down into the slope and into she went over there actually, and maybe was hunting over there by the hydrangeas, and then she went down the slope and into the big tree, and then she left there and came back and went up onto the Willard Strait, and then she left the Willard Strait and floated back north and landed up there on Morrill Hall Chimney, and that's where she is now. So we don't know where Arthur is. He's gone somewhere. And but anyway, we have a beautiful sunny day here. We're with BOGette, and I are here with Sixta. She's visiting relatives in the area, and she's come over this morning to see Mom and Dad. Why do you guys walk backwards?
Yeah, it works on different muscles.
Ah, got it.
Yeah.
I am. No, it's a red-tailed hawk. Her name's Big Red. And she's the resident mom here on campus. She's got a nest up on Tower Road by the field hockey fields, up in the light towers. So they got a webcam on there from the lab below. You can watch the nest 24/7 when they're laying eggs and hatching chicks and everything. It's very cool. Yeah. So we'll see if she decides to trundle down the hill and do a little bit of hunting. We had a wonderful time yesterday. With Arthur and Big Red hunting the hillside and the kids all over the hill, and that was great. Students. And I'm going to get out in the sunshine here, I think, a little bit.
As we were on the road going toward the locks, there were some osprey nests on top of the power wires, but there was one where they had built a box, and there was the perch. And I was saying, see, that's what Karel and Cindy are doing. They're building those boxes, and they're putting them up all over the place. And I was explaining that it helps the utility companies because they don't mess up their wires, but it makes up the safety. Well, I did watch that one video of building.
Beautiful.
Building, the one of building it, how to build it, and the other one building it. That was cool. That's the kind of stuff my brother being an engineer, would be kind of interested in. We had a cool time because of two boats. My brother walked out there right by the locks before Donna and I did. And he saw one boat go one way through the locks, and they dropped the level of the water and opened the gate. And then we were there when another boat came and they had to raise the level of the water.
That's a lot of water raising up and down.
Oh, I know. But the guy who was there, so John was in his glory. He's an engineer, and he opened up the gearboxes so we could see. And it's all this old brass stuff, and they keep it highly polished. Oh, wow. And John loves older technology.
Sure.
Like he's got these gears, big gear shift things for big machinery from I don't know how long ago, made out of wood.
Oh,
And
wow.
they're all curved and they have to mesh just right.
Yeah.
Donna told his wife, daughter, she told me, you just look in his bedroom. Just stand in the door and look around. It's like a museum.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. He's got all this old stuff,
Yeah.
engineering stuff.
Yeah.
And for a long time, they don't have this car anymore, but he has this old car.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have any kind of GPS or anything. He just had a regular old compass fixed to the dashboard.
Yeah.
And he says, if I get lost, I know generally I'm supposed to be going, southeast.
Great.
And I just look at the sun and look at my compass, and eventually I get back. He says, I don't need a GPS. he's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same. We don't have a GPS either. I mean, I guess we sort of do in our phones, and sometimes we use.
Occasionally.
Sometimes I use that,
Yeah.
but I mean, I totally get it. I mean, this sort of the analog devices that he's fascinated with. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Pre-digital.
Right.
It's just like on the. You should talk to him. He probably knows about the. They're called gun directors on battleships. So from World War II and stuff like that,
Wow.
and preceding,
Yeah.
they had analog computers on them to basically plot where the battleships guns, big
Yeah.
guns, should be shooting
Uh-huh.
to fire, 15, 20 miles away in order to
right.
be able to hit some other ship and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And it was all pre-digital. It was all analog computers with drums and gears and
Oh,
the whole
that's
9 yards. So if he saw that, he'd probably like
He was
he would like he would not be coming home.
And that was the other thing. This guy left the gearbox open.
Yeah.
And when he was actually letting the water, raising up the
Yeah.
water,
Yeah.
he let us look at
What was
the
happening
gears and how-
inside?
Oh no, it was when he was opening and closing the gate.
Uh-huh.
He let us look at how the gears were
Yeah.
running in there to have these big gates opening and closing. God was in heaven.
Yeah.
He was just,
Yeah.
he loved it. Yeah.
So there's
So
a
that's amazing.
it is interesting. There's a mini version of a gate, a lock over there by at BB Lake.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
by the dam, there's a basin, a long rectangular concrete basin,
Uh-huh.
and at one end of it, the east end of it, there are doors in there that I think either open and close this way or up and down. I'm not sure,
Yeah.
but there's some gearboxes there, some
Yeah.
motors
Yeah.
with gears on them and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And I don't know if they ever use them. I think they used to use them when there was the hydraulics laboratory that was there attached to the side of the gorge,
Yeah, yeah.
which was destroyed, several years quite a while ago
Yeah,
by ice and flooding and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they used to have sluice pipes
Oh.
and all sorts of stuff there that
Yeah.
would redirect water from BB Lake into that building so the engineers,
Yeah.
civil engineers could study
Oh, sure.
all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure John would be very familiar with that. He probably, because he was studying all that stuff. I was telling Cindy earlier that
Yep.
he first started out in engineering and then he got really interested in physics.
Mhm.
And he almost considered switching his major to theoretical physics, but it became too abstract and
Yeah.
and he said he was fascinated. He said, I wanted to build windmills and water mills
Right.
and waterways.
Right.
So he went back to engineering and he chose his courses. So he had some really heavy theoretical stuff
Right, and then
some more
applied.
practical. So he said
Yeah.
he took an agricultural machinery course once,
Mhm.
and he took some kind of course over in Bradfield.
Mhm.
And so he was just saying, he was running all over this campus,
Yeah.
all over, because he had all these different courses in different places.
Yeah.
And so he's familiar, whether he had things in the ag quad and
Sure.
Bradfield
Sure.
and engineering. And anyway,
I think it's possible that actually in his time, that hydrodynamics laboratory.
it might be because
Might
he
have still been there.
graduated in 78.
Okay, then it was
Yeah.
probably still there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a tall, multi-story stone structure
Yeah.
that was like attached to the dam, and then just downstream from the dam on one of the tall walls,
Yeah.
this building was like attached
Yeah.
to the wall.
Yeah.
A little crazy, if you ask me, but
Yeah.
so it's very interesting.
It's amazing.
So what did he wind up doing in his
I think his
profession?
very first job. You mind? I'll stand on the other side of you, so the sun's a little more to my
Sure,
back.
absolutely. Sorry.
I mean, I could stand on this side of
yeah,
you
that's
or whatever.
perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Because I want to keep the sun off this.
Yeah, yeah.
And I do have some somewhere in a pocket. I have some sunscreen that I should
Mhm.
put on it. He got a job designing typewriters. So this is, of course, way back when. I think
Sure.
he was designing still some kind of a manual, portable,
Yeah.
compact typewriter
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
that kind of thing. Then he did some work for a construction company, and construction companies want people who are licensed professional engineers.
Sure.
So he got his professional engineering
Yeah.
certification at that point.
Yeah. So they can
So-
stamp the drawings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he has that credential. So he's got a bachelor's degree. He never went up for a master's, but he has PE after his name.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on and he worked for it's a testing lab. And what it is that you get labs that test all kinds of products, anything. He worked in refrigeration and heating and refrigeration for a while. But in this testing lab, they do testing of products to make sure they meet specifications for importing from other countries. So
Right.
he traveled to other countries.
Sure.
Because he would see whether their products would, like some of it was refrigerators, air conditioners,
Right.
some of it was sports equipment, and so he was, I forget where he was, where we were, and somebody was asking him, on a practical level, what does that mean? What is that? How do you test that? You know, like a helmet.
Sure.
Does it meet specifications? He says it's like being a little boy again. You shoot things at it. You know, more and more power, and you get bigger and bigger projectiles.
Right.
You're just like a little kid, you know,
Right.
little boys. He says, I can shoot things and blow things up. And
Right.
He says, that's what you do, and you see how much it can withstand.
Right.
And if it meets the regulations, it withstands the
Right.
the
Specs.
they say it's got it, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's he did that test, but you know that would be for a helmet or something like that. But
Sure.
Eating in a refrigerator, I don't know how they test those things,
Right.
but anyway, so but he's a guy who also he loves humanities, and he says that's unusual. A lot of engineers just want science.
Right.
But he loves old books, so he's really into it. He's got some old manuscript pages and early printing press pages or books
Yeah.
that he's purchased. He was into that even when he was in high school. His very first job was working for this bookstore in downtown Boston that carried all these old books for collectors, you know.
Interesting.
So he's like he enjoys classics and stuff like that. So Cornell was a great place for him,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So when he graduated in the 70s?
Late 70s, 78.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
So he's not that much older than I am because I graduated from high school in 76.
oh, right.
So I graduated, I took a while in college, so I think it was 83 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I took time off and I was involved in performing arts and stuff and other things between high school and college. So I graduated college in 80, but I'm a year or two older than you are, I think. I'm 56. I was born.
57 I was born.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but I graduated in 80, where, you know, if I'd gone straight on,
Yeah.
a cutoff date, I was born in January. The cutoff date for entering school was January 1st, but my mother pushed because it was only 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
So I got in with a class ahead. So I graduated high school when I was 17.
Got it.
If I'd gone straight through immediately,
Yeah.
I would have graduated in 77.
Yeah.
I graduated in 80. Yeah. But, so yeah, he loved it here. He loved it. And I think I told you once my dad was in the Navy. Enlisted though. He didn't wait till he was drafted. He enlisted because he saw an ad for officers training program.
Yeah.
So he enlisted. First they sent him to MIT, which is where he met my mother.
Yeah.
And she, you know, and was at MIT, which is like one of the 10 women.
Yeah. Totally.
And she was the one who takes after with the math
Got it.
and engineering.
Yeah.
And she gave him her slide rule, you know, before calculator.
Yeah.
And so talk about liking all the technology. For a long time he just carried around this slide rule. And he knew how to use it. He was like the other students. They had no idea how to use the slide rule. They just relied on their calculator.
Right.
He says, I don't think that's good, you know. So
Yeah.
he wants to know both the theory but also the hands-on. How do you deal with the hands-on?
Sure.
The analog.
Yeah.
You know, that real.
Yeah.
So it was just really, really fun.
Well,
He's great to talk to. I mean, he's fascinating.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot like my brother, who.
Yeah, I've heard you. Oh, look at her. She's looking. Oh, what a gorgeous horse.
Yeah, she's very beautiful up there. Yeah, no, he was a physics major, and then he wound up at Lincoln Labs, and he actually they this last year, last fall, they got a. I mean, he passed. He had already passed away by this time, but
Yeah.
he their team got an IEEE Lifetime Achievement or something like that award, which they basically had an award ceremony where they honored work that had been done like 30 years before and 20 years before and stuff like that. Like, for example, the air traffic control system that is used in the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The Lincoln Lab designed that because previously there was an other older air traffic control system that was very dangerous, and so they came up with one that is still used today, and it revolutionized air travel.
Wow.
And so because of that, they got that team was recognized, and that was 30 years later, 30 or 40 years later after it was done. You know what I mean? And his team. They got recognized for creating, doing the basic research and then also prototyping the machines that do create computer chips and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And etch the circuits and all that sort of stuff.
I remember you talking about that on a stream
Yes,
once.
yeah.
That's amazing stuff.
Yeah, my brother did all the optical materials testing and theory work on that, and then other groups designed prototype machinery, proved that it would work, and the whole 9 yards. So most laboratories will just do some basic research testing, and then it's up to somebody else to adopt it and do something with it.
Yeah.
But they felt strongly that they needed to do everything to prove that this was actually feasible, because people were saying it was not feasible.
Right.
That it was impossible to do what they were
Talk
claiming
about
they
doing-
could
yeah.
do.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Well, my brother talks a lot about whenever you're testing something, the instrument you use to test
it's
it
just as important.
changes the result.
Oh, interesting.
So you never really find out. Like you said, if you stick, just as simple to simplify it, something really crude, stick a thermometer to some water.
Right.
The thermometer is going
It's
to
affect
change
the water.
the temperature of the water.
Yeah.
So you have to calculate that in.
Sure.
There's a certain.
Yeah.
You can't be when you're moving into the concrete realm.
Right.
It can't be absolutely precise. And he and I got to talking about this because in the medical profession, when you were talking about statistics before, basically they're running on statistics.
Exactly.
When they talk about standard practice, they have a pool, they have their research, they have a pool of subjects and a large enough pool, and it's statistically significant difference of using this treatment versus not.
Right.
And that's what they base that on.
Yeah.
However, I did have a doctor who was really great. He said, "Now, that's the statistics, but you're not a statistic. You're an individual.
Right.
How it's going to work for you
Right.
is another story.
Is how it works for you.
And so you've got to play with.
Right.
You've got to be sensitive to how it affects this individual body.
Right.
The concrete, the real versus the theoretical statistical.
Right.
And so the philosopher in me kicks in, and I said to this doctor, Aristotle said exactly the same thing, because Aristotle said science has to do with the unchanging universal laws,
Right.
but the word art,
Right.
from Latin ars, artis, is the translation of the Greek techne. So art, technology, it means making something, doing something concrete.
The implementation of
Yeah.
it, the
And
application
so,
of it.
Aristotle said medicine is an art because you're working with a changeable body,
Right.
a body that's not the same over time. and this body is not the same as someone else's body.
Mm-hmm.
So you take the universal science, and then you've got to have the art of medicine, of playing with it, with this individual versus that individual, this individual at this time versus that time.
Right.
And I had a physician once who was always talking about the science.
Right.
And it was like, but the science says, you know, this will get rid of the disease. But I said, it might also get rid of me, you know. I'm getting rid of, and he had an advanced practice, a nurse practitioner working with him.
Right.
And she was the one who was able to talk to me
Right.
and mediate
Right.
between the art and the science.
Right.
And I told her, Aristotle would say, you're a great medical artist. And she was like, what? But this was
It's true.
it's really true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So when you're talking about your data analysis, and then you got to apply it to the real, and how you play with, I don't know what that is in data analysis, but it's, there's a bit, no, that's a vulture over there. Earlier on, Cindy saw a bird way down there, and she said, that's a red-tailed hawk.
Yeah.
And she thought it might be wink,
Yeah.
circling way down that way.
So I think that that's actually true. Hang on a second. Let me say hi to folks. Ostrich and who?
Oh, that's the chat.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So Ostrich, thanks for joining, and Heidi, thank you also. Hi, Charlotte. Yeah. So we've been on for a bit, and we're probably going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. So the art of like predictive modeling is that you look at, it's just like medicine, you look at a large population and you look at the effect of their characteristics in terms of, in this case, the behavior, the actions that they take, whereas in medicine, the response of their body, right?
Right.
And so when we work with people, we, in that area, when we do a predictive model or something, we say to them, this is going to go do individual predictions on individuals and stuff like that. It's not a guarantee that they will behave that way.
Yeah.
It's basically a higher likelihood
Yeah.
that they will behave
It's
that way.
probabilities, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And we basically counsel them to say, look, don't necessarily go after the individual. Order this list based on likelihood. Take your top 10%, take your top 20%, whatever it is, whatever you have money to spend to reach out to these individuals,
Right.
and take your higher probability people, as a group.
Right.
It could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be 10,000 people, and so forth, and say, this group as a whole is more likely to do this than the other groups. And so
Right.
we're saying we think that it would be money well spent
Right.
if you target this group of individuals, everything else being equal and
Right.
being considered, you know what I mean?
We should.
Wrap up.
You want to play golf, and we need to get home to the girls.
And I need to get home
Yeah.
Yes.
and do some few things this afternoon. But this has been wonderful.
Well, it has been
thank you
It's
for
wonderful.
been
coming
so
to-
wonderful.
Yes,
Yeah.
and thank you for the tip on Wink.
Oh, that was so cool.
Thanks for
I mean,
joining, everybody.
I absolutely never expected to see him over there.
Yeah.
I know, just driving down the road and see this blip on top of the light tower, and I thought, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it would be Wink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, I don't know if you remember, it was last year when I came down, just that 1 hour, hour and a half,
There you
Yes.
were.
and I
yes,
found
yes.
him on ETT1.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember that.
And I didn't see Big Red that time. But
Yeah.
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 Yeah, well, she put on a nice show for you today.
Yeah, oh, she
Yeah.
did. Oh,
All right.
my. All right.
Thanks for joining, everybody, and we're so glad that Sixter was able to come and visit with us. And you,
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining. It's been wonderful to be here. I recommend you all try to visit and see
For yourself.
See everything in the flesh. It's fabulous.
yeah.
I know a lot of you have, but anyway.
If you haven't had a chance or it's been a while, then come and visit. Thank you. See you guys.